Now, everybody, look at my screen. Can you all see my screen? Can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Now, so I'm going to start from uses of fish products, isn't it? Hello? Is that, should I?
Okay, sir.
The previous lesson I had talked about, so I'm starting from uses of fish and fish products. Is that all right? Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so pay attention now. I have started the class. Okay, now look at the screen. Uses of fish and fish products. Look at the screen. The first one, fishes provide food for man. Now, that is very easy to understand. Almost all of us have eaten fish before. So the most important use of fish is because it provides food for us. Okay? Look at number 2. Some fishes are used to produce fish meal for making animal feed. Now, this is the meaning. When fishermen go to the sea, sometimes they catch fishes that are not eaten by man. Okay? When they have separated those ones eaten by man, the others, they process into fish meal. In your JS2, I explained to you the process of making fish meal. So the fish meal is mixed with the feed of animals like poultry feed, pig feed, rabbit feed, and other animal feed. That's the second use. Then look at point 3. The shells are exported for foreign exchange. What that means is this. Now, the shells of shellfishes, I told you that there are some fishes we classify as shellfishes. When you are talking about shellfishes, we are talking about these ones: periwinkles, oysters, which I showed you last lesson. Okay? Their shells are exported from Nigeria to other countries where they are needed. And then these people pay for it. They pay with their own country's currency. That is foreign exchange. Now, I go on. Now, the next point is some fishes are used for decorations in aquaria. Now, in some of your houses, you have aquarium, okay? That is inside the sitting room. There is a glass that is holding some water where you have some rare fishes, some of them brightly colored, like golden color and all that. Now, that is called aquarium. It's basically just for beauty in your sitting room. So what that means is, this is part of fishery. Some people, some fishermen catch those rare fishes which are colorful and interesting to look at. They add beauty to our sitting rooms. So that is one of the reasons why we fish, that is for decorations as in aquaria. Okay, now look at number 5. The bones of some fishes are used to produce glue. Now, we have some industries that process fish in large quantity. Now, part of that processing, they separate the flesh of the fish from the bones. Now, the bones become of a good volume, sufficient for them to process. Again, the bones can then be processed to extract glue from them. So that is another use of fish and fish products. Now, some fish, number 6, look at your screen. Some fishes produce medicine for man. E.g., cod liver produces cod liver oil. So for instance, cod is a kind of fish. When they catch codfish and kill it, they eat the fish, but inside the liver, they are able to extract a kind of oil. That oil is rich in some vitamins and it has a peculiar type of oil, which is called omega-3 oil. The omega-3 oil is very important, especially for infants, okay, between the age of a month and let's say the first 2 years of life. So when you are young, your mother must have given you cod liver oil. So it is very useful. So that's one of the products we get from fishes. So that's an example. Now I will take your question just a minute. Now, number 7, look at your screen. Number 7, some fishes are used for research. Well, what that means is that the fishes that are reared by man, most especially, researchers continue to find out how we can raise them faster and better, okay? So that's a form of research. Now, all fishes can be used for research. So some people carry out their research on oceanography, okay? They study everything in the sea, and of course, they are studying the fishes also. It's a branch of science, okay? So some fishes are used for research. Then, look at your screen, number 8. Fishing is a sport, as in Argungu Fishing Festival. Fishing is a sport, as in Argungu Fishing Festival. Now, look on, I will show you the picture of Argungu Fishing Festival in a moment. Okay, now, everybody, look at Argungu Fishing Festival. Look at my screen. On that screen, you will see pictures of people participating in the
Fishing Festival.
Listen, can you all hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
said,
sir.
look at my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Look at my screen. You will see pictures of people participating in Argungu Fishing Festival.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We can see it, sir.
So, what we are saying is that fishing is a kind of sport, and it is done every year. People look forward to it, they relax with it, they participate in it, if you look at this picture, President Muhammad Buhari is participating in that fishing festival. So this is Argungu Fishing Festival. So that's just to explain to you that fishing is also a sporting activity. Now, do you have any question so far before I go on? Is there any question?
No, sir.
Okay, if there's no question, I will go on. I'm going on now. Fish feed. Look at my screen. Look at my screen. Now look, fish feed. Fish feed. Now, fish feed is what fishes eat. Now, look at the screen. The tiny natural fish food in water is called plankton. Everybody say plankton. Everybody say plankton. Okay, so
Plankton.
yes. Look at it says plant plankton are called phytoplanktons. The animal plankton are called zooplankton. Let me explain a little what these plankton are. Most of the plankton we have are microscopic. That is, your eye can't see a single one. Okay? Now, if you have ever been to a fish pond and you see a green color, or you are going around and you saw a water body on the road and it has been there for a long time, you notice that the water starts turning green. Now, the green color of that water is because of the presence of plankton. So that plankton consists of microorganisms. Some are plants, some are animals. The plants among them are called phytoplanktons. The animals among them are called zooplanktons. So this is what fishes eat in natural water bodies, either the sea, the stream, your pond, your lakes, your springs. That's what fishes eat in the natural water bodies. Now, we know that there are some fishes that eat other fishes. Those are carnivorous fishes. Okay? So, but those that don't eat other fishes, which are not carnivorous, okay, they eat mainly these phytoplanktons. That's what their food is. But the zooplanktons eat other fishes. The carnivorous fishes eat other fishes, but the fishes they are eating are those that have eaten plants. So I'm explaining. I'm explaining. I'll take your question. I've just explained what we mean by the feed of fish, plankton, phytoplankton, and zooplanktons. What's your question?
Can the fishes go extinct without? Can fishes go extinct without they're over hunting the?
Okay. Now, what you can say is some species can become extinct, but all fishes entirely cannot become extinct. But some species of fishes, if they are overhunted, they can become extinct. For instance, whales, if whales or dolphins are hunted excessively, they can go out of existence. They can become extinct. Is there another question? Is there any other question? Is there any other question, or should I go on? Okay, Chika, are you asking a question?
Go on.
Okay. If there's no other
I said
question,
class go on, please. There's nothing.
I will go on now.
Yes, sir.
Now listen. Now listen. Look at my screen. Look at my screen. I'm going on now. Now the next point under that is newly hatched fishes are called fingerlings. Newly hatched fishes are called fingerlings. Okay, so most fishes reproduce by laying eggs. Now, when the eggs hatch, because when they lay eggs, the male fish of the same species will pour his own sperm, will deposit his own sperm on the water on the same area over where the eggs have just been laid. So the ones that become fertile become fishes. So now, when the fishes hatch, the young ones are called fingerlings. Under a week, under 2 weeks, they are called fingerlings. Now, I want to go on to methods of fishing or scales of fishing. Now, look at your screen. There are two methods of fishing. The method of fishing refers to the scale of fishing. The scale means the volume of fish caught at a time. Okay? So if a large quantity of fish is caught at a time, we call that large scale fishing. If a small fish, a quantity of fish is caught at a time, we call that small scale fishing. Okay? So there are two scales of fishing. That is, there are two methods of fishing. So we have the small scale fishing and the large scale fishing. Now, what are their differences? Look at the table on your screen. The first one is that small scale fishing is done in streams, rivers, ponds, seas, and sea coasts. Okay? Whereas large scale fishing is done in seas and oceans. Okay? So if you remember, we have we have classified the types of fishes we have. So in small scale fishing, the fishermen go to nearby streams or rivers or the ponds near them and then to the sea coast. Okay, sea coast is the bank, that is BANK, the land just beside the sea. So they can go far into the sea. Okay. Now, small scale fishing, number two, they use more vehicles and equipment. Vehicles, they use canoes, they use boats. Okay. Those are their small vehicles. The equipment they use, we shall discuss in a few minutes from now. They use things like baskets, they use small nets, the small nets that are handled by 3, 4, 5 fishermen in a boat or in a canoe. But large scale fishing is done in big ships. They use large nets, and the equipment they use includes freezers, big freezers, cold rooms that are as big as 2, 3, 4, 5 times the size of your classroom. So they use very big ships. You know, if you call it a ship, you know it's not small. Then they use very big ship because all their workers will be there, and then the equipment for storage of the fish they catch, they can be on the sea for 2, 3 months catching fish. By the time they get back to the land, they just bring already processed fish, frozen fish, already packed in cartons for export. So I've just explained the second difference. The third difference, the small scale fishing catch a small volume of fish. That's why they are called small scale. Whereas the large scale fishing, they catch a large volume of fish. So number 4, fishes are consumed locally for small scale fishing. What that means is this: when those farmers come back, most of them don't have storage system. They sell to buyers immediately on the sea coast or the bank of the river or the stream. They sell all they have within 6 hours, okay, so that it doesn't spoil. They don't have the facility to process or store. So their fishes are consumed within their country. That's what we mean by consumed locally. Now, but large scale fishing, they process the fish inside the ship. They export it to all nations of the world. So all these fishes that we call ice fish, they are the products of large scale fishing. Okay, so they their own fishes are processed, frozen, packaged, exported. So that is another difference. The last one is that we need very little capital to start small scale fishing, whereas for large scale fishing you need a large capital. Is it for you to buy a ship or to rent a ship for fishing? It's a lot of money, okay, with all the storage facilities inside that ship. Whereas you can borrow a canoe, 3 persons can get into a canoe and go and fish, which is much cheaper. Yes, so I will stop here and I will take your questions. If you have a question, ask now on what I've just discussed. Go on. Ask your question. Ask your question. Ask your question.